My name is Gideon Strich. Well, I'm a diagnostic radiologist who actually have 3 areas of subspecialty training in which I'm additionally board certified, and includes diagnostic radiology, interventional radiology, and nuclear radiology. I grew up on the East Coast. See, I ended up actually moving to California and ended up working in medical research. And that's the direction from which I came, and that convinced me to go to medical school. At the time that I went to UC San Diego, radiology was a very strong department there. Some of the greats, kind of the godfathers of radiology, were teaching there at the time. And it was fascinating, and it was just the beginning of body CT and really high-level interventional radiology. 2 things that really got me just so interested. I started taking radiology in my first year of medical school. It was part of our anatomy class. And as part of that, we rotated through the areas of radiology. It was so high-tech. I mean, I knew immediately, I was in a dark room with lights and, cameras, and it was so high-tech, I knew immediately that was for me. So I was kind of in the area, and when I looked for jobs, I was looking for things in the area. But it was just about the time that West Coast Radiology first opened. So I got into it at the very beginning, and I'd like to say for 20 years, that's been my baby. Nuclear radiology is the field that uses tagged radio tracers to follow basically physiology in the body. And that includes things like bone scans and red cell scans and the newer modalities, including PET scanning. And in fact, I was involved in the very beginning of development of PET, a good 30 years ago. Even before medical school, I was sort of a high-level lab tech in a cardiology lab at the Massachusetts General Hospital. And we were developing a way of imaging the actual metabolism of the heart. And we had kind of a physicist and an engineer who were working with us. I was in charge kind of the physiologic parts, and we had a medical director. And they actually put together a very crude PET device. So that was my very first experience with PET, going back 30 years. Now, fast forward to the present, in PET CT, it's the most exciting thing that's actually happened in nuclear medicine in 25 years. And again, imaging the metabolism in very small areas of the body. At the same time, adding the CT, which is the second half of the PET CT, gives you very fine anatomic detail. So you can see the anatomy, and superimposed on pictures of the anatomy, you can actually see the physiology or the metabolism of those parts of the anatomy that you can visualize with the CT. And then you have incredible sensitivity. When you combine the ability to determine abnormal physiology with the ability to determine very, very small anatomic detail with the CT, it was the missing piece. You can detect cancer or disease in a normal-sized lymph node well before it's obviously abnormal by anatomy. So that's the strength of PET CT. The addition of PET CT, we already had PET, but the addition of PET CT now gives us basically a full spectrum of imaging modalities. There really basically isn't a single significant imaging modality we don't provide at one of our centers. So we are probably one of the few really full-service imaging centers in Orange County. And for that reason, the patient can be worked up from beginning to end at our centers. It doesn't have to go to multiple places, and the doctors don't have to collect reports and information from multiple places. If they have a question, they don't have to call a bunch of different radiologists. They can call one radiologist who can look everything up on one computer and have an intelligent, coherent discussion of all the findings. And that allows them to really better plan their patients' healthcare.